So as you mentioned, Marcello, this is the penultimate round for both of these players here. They are both on an X2 record. A loss would almost potentially guarantee their end of the tournament for both of these players here. So all or nothing on the line for this round here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a huge event, and it's really tough to make it to the top 64, and they're gonna try their best. And here we see a rather standard opening with the Mathmech deck.
It's not super great to open Diameter. Normally you want to do that after you've filled up your graveyard because it does have that, you know, I like to call it the Coach Soldier Wolf Bark style effect with the revival from the graveyard. But it's enough because we have the extender in the hand to be able to special summon and then go into Alimbertion, which, did you know, Alberto, that's the Latin name for Alberto?
Yeah,
thanks.
No,
really?
No, I made that
up.
up.
No, it's not.
I completely lied.
I thought you studied Latin in school, no?
Another thing to note here as well that sometimes players miss here, there's a very unique effect of Diameter that isn't super common. It actually gives a monster an effect while it's a material, or if it wasn't a material. So even though it's detached now, this Alimbertion is going to be able to negate a card.
And that's a huge way to play around some of these entraps from the players this weekend. But in this case, it's actually quite the opposite. So while Julio is maining something like 12 or more with some unique ones that he can search with a small word, his opponent, I don't think he's playing anything. Maybe a Kaiju or something along those lines, but not a real
I think
way.
he's got Kurikara in the main deck.
Yeah. I mean, the only actual entrap we could say is the Herald of the Orange Light, which is obviously limited to 1. But then he has some, going second card, change of art too, which could be nice. But
yeah, so Mathmech puts up this really good turn 1 field. And depending if you have any more extenders, you can end on potentially something like a Masquerena into an Apollosa for your opponent's turn. You also have the most important, the haymaker of the deck. It's the Super Factorio Trap card.
No, the deck, I think it's super consistent, and I think it will be one of those decks that I will play, honestly. It's just, you know, you just sit there, you activate your cards, and also especially, I think the Circular Aron alongside with the Sigma. I mean, Circular plus Sigma.
Here we see the equations. So, how good were you at equation? I don't know. I know Alberto.
That's interesting, going for a turn 1 Laplacian here.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, I like to call it like a Trishula style effect. It allows you to send a card, depending on how many materials you detach, 1 from the field, 1 from the spell and trap zone, and 1 from the hand as well.
In this case, obviously, as it is the last round of Swiss, it's quite possible that they know what each other is playing. So they have been sitting at the top tables for a while, and that's might be one of the... Ooh, and we see one of the attack cards in, Wear of Doubt. Yeah.
So combo decks tend to want a lot of card advantage, so you can start spilling all of those important special summons onto the field. So going for this play, I suppose to deny him some important resources and some important searches, like hitting the Where Art Thou there, probably going to attempt to deny his opponent from trying to get any more resources. We see the Decode Talker here, the Heat Soul, the Burning Draw, paying 1,000 life points, and over the course of 2 turns, it is Pot of Greed.
Pretty much, And that's why we see the deck building from Julio with a lot of entraps, because you can draw them with Heat Soul consistently, and one of them, particularly the Drawn and Lock, could be really strong against Drytron.
Yeah, especially Drytron, a Ritual deck. Ritual decks tend to all want to do a lot of searching before they can actually start setting up their field, just because the nature of the Ritual Summon requiring 2 components to be able to actually perform a Ritual Summon, you do need to go into your deck quite often, and so something like Droll and Lockbird could be absolutely devastating in this scenario.
And I think if European things are really good, because he might be holding 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence alongside with the Super Factorial, because he's at 3, and these are the only trap cards he's playing. So that will be the case, and I mean, I really like the approach of Julio. It just has a lot of interruptions, and but on the other side, I think it's not easy to play against Drytrons, but just because the effects on the graveyard, you know, to bring them back, and then with the Ben 10 itself, you're, you know, capable of adding a lot of cards, and indeed, we see the Alpha.
Alpha Zeta. That's the best 2-card combo in Drytron, if I dare say myself. All right. Well, if there's a good way to break this turn 1 that Julio has established here. Jordi definitely would. Oh, there it is!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wow.
He had it.
That is devastating.
That's crazy, especially because this is the only one he's playing only 2 copies of in the main deck.
That's incredible. Wow. The as you mentioned, you know, the draw power with the Heat Soul is very good, especially when you've managed to deck thin. You get those important resources out of your deck, get your Sigma out, get the Circular out, get the Factorial out, and then when you draw, all you've got left is non-engine, and that's why Droll Lockbird is being played here, so you can potentially go into that. And here is the Super Factorial for 3.
Huge.
This will be devastating, especially because now with XYZ Summon, with the diameter being a material, basically we have an Omni Negate.
Yep. And detaching 2 here, you get to send 1 from the field and 1 from the hand.
Wow.
Just removing those important resources that Jordi has here.
Oh my god! Change of heart! What a snipe! That could have been one of the only ways to fight back with like a Zeus, but yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, being able to go into a change of heart, take the Laplacian potentially, attack. Now you've done battle with an Xe monster, go for Zeus. That's like the only real play you have under Droll.
Yeah.
At the same time, as Alberto mentioned, with you face down and not really other trap cards, the impermanence is most likely gonna be there, so Zeus wouldn't be enough. But yeah, change of heart is a crazy snipe.
Gamma's a good tool for being able to fight through going second here, as it's the Drytron that allows you to revive when it tributes. So if this is hit by anything, then we can at least try and attempt to resolve the effect of the Gamma. Bring back another monster, go for an Xe play, but don't forget 2 set cards remain, and of course the diameter, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and also this is something that we haven't quite seen a lot. Gamma usually was played maybe on one-offs, and he's playing 3. I think he's maximizing all the numbers of Drytron in his deck, and this is something that you don't really see quite often.
Do you think it's to do with the fact that Rise Hard is such a prominent threat?
Yeah, I think so. So at least you have an easy way, you know, to just go to an XYZ Summon, and then if you really have access to Zeus, it just, you know, deals with your opponent's board field. But here, with the Ben 10, unfortunately, it will not out because of the journal lock.
He just has to pick up, that's so unfortunate. Well, game 1 has been taken by Julio with that powerful Mathmech setup.
Not much can be said about this one. It was very dominant by the Spanish national champion, and yeah, it all came down to this Heat Soul drawing him the Droll and Lock, which just made it too unfair with the obviously opening that he had, and yeah, now it's back to his opponent. I think both didn't expect to be playing you know, the last round against this specific matchup, and now they must find a way to improvise. I still gotta give the edge to Julio just because of the amount of entraps in the main, but in the side deck they go through the roof. He has like 9 more. I think he goes up to like 20, almost half of the deck in total.
Yeah, so we can see that he's playing 3 copies of Ghost Bell. That's pretty good against Drytron. The Gamma, the Negating and Destroy to remove the body from the field, plus everything he already has in the main, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
How do you combo through this?
No, I mean, you really can't. I think I really like this approach, by the way, because basically you sit at the table, you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 in the main deck,
21, right?
21.
21,
so half a deck.
like half of the deck. Half the deck is that, which obviously you need to be careful because sometimes you might draw into just those, and then it's tough to combo through. But like, that's crazy. Yeah, as you mentioned, how do you combo through that?
Because I think the deck has everything that it needs, no? So also with the Parallel Exceed, he's able to combo through a lot of things, and I mean, it's working out very well, especially like in this game 1. I think he had, the perfect hand, you know, with the Draw Lock, 3 trap cards.
It's basically a Paolo deck, you know? So, exactly.
Well, talking a little bit about the hand trap lineup, I think, you know, one of my favorite cards printed was Small World, and it does this amazing bridge where if you draw too many hand traps, those hand traps get you to your engine, and if you have too much engine, that engine gets you to defensive cards.
Yeah, it's definitely the key card in the deck from Julio, but on the other hand, I think Drytron doesn't really want to side that many cards going first, right? So does he even have anything that might be
I suppose we could probably talk a little bit about what's happening here. Going first, Jordi will be playing the Drytron, as you've seen, but his win condition that he's opted to try and play here is the Amor Factor Pain, as well as the Vanities Ruler, I think was popularized actually by Justin Singh in the North American region about last national format. On top of that, he's also sending a small Magic Key engine. So the Magic Key unlocking allows you to basically set up an Omni Negate to protect that Armor Factor Pain.
And unfortunately for him, he has a very unique side deck card in that of Sales Ban, which for anyone who doesn't know, it's pretty similar to a prohibition for just one card. The idea is you declare a card name, and usually it is for an entropy that you fear the most. The issue is when you're facing 21, like that's basically just you know, going completely.
Like you just sales ban draw maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but then you need to face the other 18.
Yeah, I know.
So like it's definitely tough. I don't even know if you want to side that in at this point, but obviously he has no idea that his opponent is using that many. And without further ado, though, our duelists are ready. So let's jump into game 2.
So there's a decent amount of cards that can come out here from the main deck from Jordi. You know, as we mentioned, he's maining the Kurikaras. That can definitely come out here. But to combat those hand traps, he's playing the Talents and Thrust lineup.
Nice handshake, and here let's see if Jordi will be able to combo through. The end I can't quite figure out, but I do see a couple monsters. And okay, we start things off with the Field Spell.
And the Drytron Fafnir adds a Drytron spell and trap from the deck to the hand, and most likely going to go for the Nova here. And on resolution, we
once
again. Oh, God. That's the one copy he's playing as well. Absolutely incredible. All right, well, if there's one card you're holding Call by the Grave for, it's definitely that Droll and Lockbird.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything else to prevent him from going through the rest of this combo. Alpha, good way to start your combo here. Zeta, important key piece to get to your ritual spell as well. So let's see if he can do anything else.
Because now, given that you're playing against Mathmech, where do you want to go with your combo? Just, you know, set up the Mobeta Fafnir, and then from there seeing if Julio has any response. Because now it looks like, okay, he's getting things through now with the Alpha being summoned. And this is getting crazy, because now with the Ben 10 being gotten, he will be able to once again access his Drytron cards from the graveyard as well.
Recently unlimited again, Ben 10 returns to the scene, a Light Fairy, which when tributed allows you to search for any Light Fairy from your deck to your hand.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, the Light Fairy of choice is Vanity's Ruler.
Yeah. And that's one of the key alternative win condition we mentioned. And Fafnir is not just a field spell, it's also the name of probably the best card, arguably, in the deck, which is, as you can see on screen, the XYZ, and it does so much for this deck.
Yeah, it is the Foolish Burial to get you more resources, negates a spell and trap, I think, during your opponent's turn, and the all-important replacement effect for ritual summoning.
Yeah. Let's see if we are gonna see anything, and
that's huge.
Yeah, nice impermanence by Julio. Oh, he was chaining something. Okay, no.
Oh, the emergency. Okay.
Yeah, emergency, cyber emergency. Obviously, card meant to be for Cyber Dragon, but turns out all the Drytrons are also searchable by it. So
Jordi looks super confident with this. Like, doesn't seem super, you know, bothered, especially because like the Cold Body Grave was incredibly powerful.
As long as you stop that Droll and Lockbird, this deck does do well going
so
through
at least I can play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Infinite Impermanence, one of the best cards you can drop down on the Fafnir, as it negates all of the effects for the turn, not just the Foolish Burial style effect. Oh, he's already got the field spell here.
Good.
Okay, so Ben 10 appearing, and let's see if he's gonna try and search, as you mentioned, for their rulers at some point, or what's his play gonna be.
Notice as well that he activated the Medionis Fafnir to ritual summon by tributing from the hand. Reason for that, the replacement effect of Fafnir is negated this turn. Plus, Gamma in the graveyard is fine. You know, you get to tribute off the Ben 10, bring back another body.
And I think with one of you know, the impermanence gone, it's tough to get rid of the Vanity's Ruler if he would be used this turn.
So he goes into the Nightmare Phoenix, not to destroy any spell and trap cards, just so that he can get these materials in the graveyard, so that he can begin using these powerful graveyard effects.
Exactly, and this is exactly what we're gonna see. Let's see if here we go for the Vanity's Ruler, or he's gonna first continue comboing off a little bit more. He can obviously get back the ritual spell, and there it is. So we go for the ruler, and outside of impermanence, what are the outs that Julio has in his deck?
He doesn't.
Okay, nice.
Actually, he is playing the Thunder King Kaiju, isn't he?
Yeah, but
he
you
can't.
cannot kaiju.
Yeah, you cannot
Sorry. My mistake.
But maybe he might have side in the Archfiend Eccentric.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
honestly.
I don't know if you would say that.
It's hard because you don't know what your your opponent's playing Drytron, but there's a lot of win conditions that Drytron. There's so many ways to approach the deck.
Absolutely.
So you don't really know how you're going to go. Hand traps are just the safe bet almost always.
Yeah.
I will say Impermanence, by the way, is the one to go for. But given that one is
there
already
it is.
gone.
So here comes down the Vanity's Ruler.
Must be noted as well, you mentioned that you love Vanity's Fiend, but Vanity's Rule is a lot better than that, isn't it? Because it's one-sided.
I know. But I like a challenge. You know.
Okay. All right, there is Natasha being searched as the final reproach for Ben 10 here. Natasha, another incredible card for going second. That's going to help on turn 3 for Jordi, as Natasha, not once paternal, able to special summon itself back from the graveyard by banishing a Cyber Angel. Helps you remove cards from your opponent's field on
Let's see.
turn 3.
This could be a quick one.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have an out to this, this could actually be a super quick game 2. But it looks as if he's debating a little bit, probably checking whether the negate effect from the Fafnir is possible here. Might have an impermanence, and he does! Wow!
That is incredible.
Okay. Crazy,
Imperm off the top.
Is it circular too?
No way.
What an what
This is crazy. This guy, he just had everything.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Because now he gets the Sigma, and then the Sigma can be special summoned from the graveyard.
Crazy, yeah.
And
honestly.
Well, the...
I did mention it could have been a quick one, maybe in a different way, but yeah.
The best combo going second is just simply 3 Cyberse bodies, makes update access code. Will we see him go for that?
And that's exactly what the Mathmech deck can do. And pretty much... but the one-off! Not only the call by the grave, but yeah, interesting. But where did he use it? Yeah, okay.
So he used it from the...
Yeah, because he sends us a cost. That's the thing.
But okay.
I got really excited there, but I don't know if I like that Herald. You know, potentially, if that's your only disruption.
Why not wait for the...
Maybe a transcode or something, or a Splash Mage?
I agree with you. Maybe he got a little too excited, but the issue is...
Especially when you negate the circular in the hand. I mean, it's already done its job. As you mentioned, it stands for cost.
Because this is enough. Like any Cyber's deck, as soon as you get to, you know, a couple of monsters, you can go for the access code. So
yeah, so Equation is the Monster Reborn, special summon any from the graveyard. That is 2 level 2 or minimum monsters in order to make the update jammer to then go into the transcode to revive and go for access code double attacking. Playing double access code, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's a smart choice, especially because like facing this many, amount of Kashtira players, then you just want to be sure.
Absolutely.
No? Not once per turn either, if that ever randomly comes up, but can make a second one at some point if your opponent negates the first access. So it looks like...
he also has another extender. What a hit from Julio.
That's just incredible. But like we kind of talked about at the start, this is why I suppose Mathmech is such a solid choice for this kind of event, because you have so many good options for going second as well as your standard line that Jordi did going first.
I think it makes a lot of sense to play a lot of entries just to prevent your opponent, from playing, basically. And not on the other side, just with a single card, the circular itself, you just, can get things through, no? And then the, I think also the Monster Reborn of the deck, let's say, the equation.
Yeah.
I think Julio here, okay, maybe he wants to go for the, the most standard approach instead of going for an access code token, but I think he can do that, right?
Yeah, he's just taking a different line here. I think he wants to guarantee some insurance just in case there's any problems. He still has that factorial to fall back on the next turn if, for some reason, update access doesn't actually pan out. But yeah, so he's playing this really well just to make sure that he has, like, an insurance policy in the factorial should anything go wrong.
Yeah, and I don't see it going wrong for him. He has probably done this plenty of times in this past 2 days, and yeah, it's very tough. I mean, we have seen this plenty of times throughout the past formats, all the way from Salaman Great, for example, and yeah, it's as easy as it gets. you just go for the update jammer, and the access code can attack twice at 5300. So
Access code, such an incredible card. I honestly don't even know if it needs a software update, but he's going to go for it anyway, as the double attack is super powerful. Can't respond to it, doesn't target.
Yeah.
Such an incredible card. The only way you can really respond is on resolution. Best case scenario, you can drop an effect veiler or an infinite impermanence on the first initial effect, but yeah, loading up the graveyard with a bunch of link materials as well. Remember, it banishes the number of attributes that you have, so the more you have there, and there it
goes. Yeah. Julio throwing his hands up in the air is the winner of Game 2 and the match round 12. What a match, honestly. It seems as if it could go either way, but we did mention that just by looking at the deck list, Julio seemed as if he was the favorite by the amounts of entraps he's playing. And it all came down to the draw, especially in Game 1, only using 2 copies in the main deck, picked up 1. Edit again in the second game, but that call by the grave looked really promising, but in the end it just wasn't enough against the double impermanence and circular. Yeah,
I was really excited to see the Amber Factor Pain Lock, but unfortunately never got a chance to do it.
There was another impermanence. I mean, we talked about this, how many number of hand traps is playing, and is paying off, I think,
Yeah, it's definitely a deck that it's interesting. I don't know if you want to face it. Obviously, I can see a little bit of a risk because we have to see obviously how this format and this tournament in particular is containing a lot of different decks. On top of my mind, we had seen even in the previous round some Labrynth decks which are still almost undefeated or on X1. And if he plays against Labrynth, all of those entraps are gonna be completely useless outside of Ash Blossom. So I don't know. He's really gotta dodge, some of those shady decks in the top 64, as he's pretty much guaranteed a spot in. But nevertheless, congratulations to his opponent. He tried his best to combo through, but unfortunately he has to lose in the last round. And I mean, will now try his best to cheer for the remainings. But I mean, we still have a lot to see.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, there's a lot of decks in the format, and you have to sometimes take concessions depending on what deck you choose. So you play something like Mathmech, you have all these hand traps. You're going to have a way harder time against trap decks, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the approach that he took before the tournament is just, if I'm going to play against, Sprite, Kashtira, all these kind of matchups, I mean, I'm going to be fine. Then if I play against Labrynth, which, on a 12-round tournament, maybe I might be facing 1 or 2. I guess I just take it, So...
But I mean, just in case we are not going to see Julio on stream again, he does have a solution in that case in his side deck. As you mentioned, Small World is a crazy card. Potentially can search for pretty much any Yu-Gi-Oh card in the game. And he has, for that reason, a copy of Denko Sekka in his side deck, which he can search with the Small World against these kind of decks. So we'll never know. Maybe he has already defeated some of these Labrynth decks. But regardless, as mentioned, they put up a really good show. And now, obviously, this was a quick match for us, but there are still plenty of matches. There are pretty much 13 minutes remaining in the round for everyone else, and they are fighting through, and we will be able later on to show you guys the breakdown for the top 64, which obviously I'm really interested in seeing how the numbers we had transitioned into the top cut, especially if the Kashtira deck held its ground, and so if it improved its 19% of, or maybe we're gonna see a surprise. Yeah. Do
you have any predictions as to the percentage breakdown we'll see for the different decks in top cut?
So I would expect Kashtira to be the most represented deck in the top cut, honestly. And then after that, maybe I saw some different variants of Sprite. So
I was hovering around the top tables earlier.
Yeah, I would say
a lot of
Kashtira, Sprite, and then maybe I don't know. What would you insert?
I mean, I think it also comes down to the transition percentage, and I'm not sure of the total numbers, but I gotta give credit to Rika because I've been at the top tables, and Jessica alongside Alex, and they tested together were on table 3 and 4.
Smashing
so they are completely tearing through the competition.
Yeah,
and
I spoke to Alex earlier. I think he's currently on X1.
Exactly, and I think not many players brought Rika, so I think Rika, we're gonna have one of the best transition in terms of percentage throughout the top cut. I think they're both pretty much guaranteed in, and yeah, we're gonna see maybe Jessica again or Alex. We had both on stream earlier on, and yeah, it's definitely. I wouldn't want to play against it, honestly. Probably the scariest deck in the room at the moment, but I think I would be surprised if we don't have at least 10 different decks in the top 64.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And it's been a while, you know, ever since we had such a format. And it's one of those that's really unpredictable, because usually if by the end of day one you haven't figured it out, we might have some prediction for who is going to take it. If you ask me now, I think still all of those 10 decks could take it, and it's beautiful.
It's anyone's game at this stage, isn't it? Despite the fact that you would expect Kashtira dominating so much.
Absolutely.
There's so much viability.
And we already mentioned, going through some of the milestone, the 100th YCS, you know, the biggest TCG tournament of all time, had a lot of different decks. Darkware took it in the end. This one is the second largest tournament of all time. And again, anything could take it. But before finding out, thank you guys for being with us with round 12. We have Julio ready with Ed for the winner interview.
Thank you, Marcello. Yes, I am joined by Julio, who's just won our final feature match in the Swiss rounds here at YCS London. It's very exciting to see this. We're now heading into that top cut. You're now 10 wins, 2 losses. Congratulations on your win. How are you feeling?
I don't know what to know. I am a little sad because Jordi is also a friend. He lives in Spain too, and I don't like win friends and put out of the top cut. But in general, I felt very well. I should be in top, right?
Well, I think it depends on the amount of draws that some people have, but hopefully, fingers crossed, you've made it this far. It would be great to see you in that top cut. So talk to us about Mathmech. We've seen a couple of people play Mathmechs. What is it that you like about the Mathmech deck?
When I prepare for an event, I try to pick a deck that can defeat all the decks in the metagame. I tested Kashtira, all the people heard Kashtira, branded lose into a single as, and with Mathmech I can play multiple hand traps and cover all the paintings. As Drytron with Roll and Mate, that was all.
Well, yeah, let's go through some of those moments, because game one, as you mentioned, with hand traps, that Droll and Lockbird, that was sort of the main thing. It just completely scuppered Jordi's deck. There was nothing he could do, so he just scooped. So then game two, we saw that Droll and Lockbird again, but then it was immediately called by the grave.
I was just afraid. He will make me a full board and I couldn't crash it.
Well, when that happens, you had so many other things happen. And you, again, right at the end, you built access, go talk of a game. But when there were things like Vanity's Ruler and other effects that were stopping you from playing, what's going through your mind and how do you deal with it?
I had also impermanence in hand, but actually the Drytrons plays a lot of turn 1 boards. And I prefer use in something and prevent the board. He has more extenders. If I do the Vanity Ruler, and I need a good card to draw to out the Vanity, and I draw the other impermanence, and that got me the game.
So it was a hard draw on the
of impermanence, yes.
Excellent, that's all you needed, and congratulations, you've taken this. So if you get to the top cut, you say you've built a deck, your Mathmech deck can pretty much handle anything in the meta. Is there anything you'd be worried about going up against in that top cut?
The worst matchup that I could have is Dragon Link, because the Bestials just remove all my monsters. The only single loss that I have in Swiss was against Joshua Smith, that with a single Magnamut just remove all my materials, and against Kashtira that the Macrocosmos can defeat.
Well, fair enough. Let's hope you don't go up against that. Maybe you'll cruise on through to that final. But congratulations again. I hope we get to see you in the top cut. We'll be finding out very soon exactly who our top 64 are. But before we get into that, I'm going to chat to our Italian commentary duo with some of your questions. Don't go anywhere.
Brand new for Yu-Gi-Oh! Rise and shine, Ruby. Looks like we got some work to do. Crystal Beasts are back and ready to rack up some wins with their new advanced Crystal Beast forms. You can score cool new cards and add some precious gems to your collection with this all-foil set. Yu-Gi-Oh! Battles of Legend, Crystal Revenge. 5 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.
Hello and welcome back to more of your coverage here at YCS London 2023. We've already had 2 Time Wizard tournaments amongst our coverage team, so why not jump into some of the public event formats that you're going to be seeing here at YCS London. So for instance, we right now are going to have a quick tournament of Time Wizard March 2005 format. So in front of me obviously have Basti and Nadir, who are both ready to go. So guys, let's do a high roll to see which one of you is going to be going first. Oh, look at that. That's good sportsmanship. But will the handshake be denied this time? That's a 1. Okay, right, Nadir, what are you rolling? Oh, my God, also a 1. Okay, right, let's try this again. A 3. And what about you? 5. Okay, so who's going to be going first? You're going to go? Okay, Nadir is going to go first. So I'm going to hand you guys over to another mix of a team, which I quite like for our commentary. We've got Alberto, Marcello, and Leonard, who has won our Time Wizard tournaments. Time Wizard tournaments? Speed Duel tournaments. So let's see who wins Time Wizard. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Ed, and welcome to an all-Italian commentator desk as Leo with his mustache is looking fresh. So here we are, and as mentioned, we are now drifting away from Speed Duel into the Time Wizard lands, and we start from one of those meta where it came and all started from, which is March 2005, and it's gonna be a blast, not only because we're gonna switch and it's always nice to mix things up, but because we're mixing things up also in terms of players, as you can see.
Yeah, we have Tom Payne and Nadir Mazzoni competing here in a format that is incredibly popular. So I think all of these players, I mean, I'm going to compete as well, are going to be incredibly experienced.
Stop it, you already...
Yeah, don't go free for free, come on. Don't, come on. Leave some for the rest of us. And as mentioned, we decided then we are going to play through different Time Wizard formats. For this one, me and Alberto are going to step out and just going to be on the commentary desk. For the next, it's going to be the same for you and Basti. But for now, our players are ready. So let's find out who will advance to the finals of March 2005 Time Wizard tournament.
So we are seeing a Chaos, probably turbo variant on Sebastian's head, and we are already seeing the Delinquent duo. However, Nadir is going to start.
Yeah, Nadir is instead on goat control, so pretty much playing a lot of copies of Scapegoats and ways to use Scapegoat to advantage. So he plays creature swap. Wow!
He did not play the Delinquent duo. This gives Nadir a chance to draw into Thunder Dragon or something like that.
Really?
Why would you not do that?
It looks like Seb's hand is not great.
I mean, especially because there are so many ways to get punished by that. And here comes Breaker. Did you see what that was? Let's see.
Oh,
okay.
It's Raigeki break, and now you don't really have anything that you want to discard.
Maybe discard the duo.
If you're not going to use it, then you might as well.
Might as well. Let's see. This might be a mind game as well if the face down is not a flip monster. Wow, the face down. And it's a Scapegoat, which maybe wasn't the best to set alone, but...
But I like that he didn't panic and destroy the breaker, because he can use the Tsukuyomi in his hand for something at least.
So on my mind there are 2 cards that face down could be. One of them, let's see if it's... Okay, interesting. Well. Very bold opening though. Setting the Magician and Scapegoat together. Yeah, interesting combo.
You want to maximize the amount of goats you're summoning.
Which is true. And now a nice Thunder Dragon top deck. And we will see the Delinquent now. Just cause.
Yeah, I mean, now is as good as time as ever. So we're going to see maybe get the Scapegoats out of the hand of Nadir.
That's definitely one of the best cards, because we see the meta in the end, and it is it is the Scapegoat. The rest is like Chaos Sorcerer, Metamorphosis, Chaos Sorcerer, Metamorphosis, and Asura.
Okay.
And this is pretty good for Nadir so far, because he can assert a lot of pressure. However, Sebastian can now activate the Thunder Dragon at some point, Basti.
He also does have a Tsukuyomi, which is a nice way to deal with the Breaker, potentially.
He don't.
Wow, he's gonna use the Snatch Steal here.
No, but I think he could have used Snatch Steal on the Magician of Fate.
Yeah, okay.
No,
He wants to go Tsukuyomi here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Turbo Delinquent Duo deck.
Yeah, okay,
and
fair. Fair
that
enough.
still should be gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
If he does not hit the Chaos Sorcerer here, he's going to be in a lot of trouble because that's a lot of damage and he's not going to be able to remove the Magician of Faith from the board, nor the Breaker.
Yeah, because he pays 2,000 as well from this duo. So maybe a little too flashy here, but let's see. And he does it. Ooh, the best.
Wow.
The best. And yeah, Chaos Sorcerer was by far the best. He does eat it.
And wow, we also activate the Thunder Dragon.
Top
That
deck
is
the Thunder Dragon.
Good one. Yeah.
Only one card left in hand for both outside of the Thunder Dragons, I think. So
It's risky though, because now here it just passes, no?
yeah, you take a lot of damage. Is the last card a Serpent, maybe? I don't know. But we'll figure it out. So yeah.
It has a tribe.
Yeah, and Basti has
Tribe,
BLS in hand.
Tribe.
Both. No,
Nadir.
I meant Seb.
No, BLS.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you can actually at some point set down the Tsukuyomi because otherwise you're just
Let's see.
just get punched
So-
all the time.
Nadir.
Wow,
Graceful.
Okay, it's
To be
okay.
fair,
I mean,
it's
yeah.
not the greatest, but yeah. Basically, a better Upster Goblin looking for the Serpent. Doesn't quite get it. I see a Sword, Sakuretsu, and a Monster. Let's see.
And not finding the Serpent here is really good. I don't want to say good for Sebastian,
Yeah.
but
Honestly, worst case scenario, you can keep the Sakuretsu and just go full aggression on with double tribe, breaker, and whatever.
I quite also like the play that he's going for here, which is keeping the Dekoichi.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't quite tell what the monster was, so then definitely I agree with you.
So this turn, it's not that much damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked your approach as well, just to go for a full damage here.
Yeah.
Denying a premature burial as well. No, I'm
And
not.
unfortunately, here we could see a huge punish because the Tsukuyomi obviously was the idea.
Drew the cross out.
If he Sakuretsu the Tsukuyomi, then he goes for BLS.
Yeah.
And this is basically too strong. Okay.
That one's really important for Sebastian.
For sure. But maybe too soon.
Yeah, Basti, you skipped the Dekoichi.
Yeah, you skipped it.
Yeah. I think he should have gone for the Tsukuyomi first, if that's the line.
Yeah. You summon it first and then I think you attack over the
Why?
break.
Because you first of all try to get rid of the breaker, and if a Sakuretsu comes down, you go for the BLS, and then technically you're never even forced to use the crossout. But
fair enough.
Let's see. This is what will happen, and unfortunately, it's a big punish for Nadir, who needs to top deck his own Kobyo Snatch still.
Yeah.
What? Is he considering setting its own monster or what? What?
No way.
I mean, I have seen him do stranger things. So.
Okay.
Oh, we're attacking over
And
and
yeah,
the Sakuretsu.
unfortunately, here Seb gonna smile because he has the BLS in main phase 2.
Yeah, correctly summoning it in defense position here. Very good. Applying a lot of pressure on its own here.
Absolutely.
Nadir,
Let's see.
Nadir just happy to have the
Pot of
8,000
greed.
life points. Delinquent Duo on double Thunder Dragon. You don't want to activate that.
Nice. Not much. Yeah.
Oh, he's actually
Goes
going for it. They're just having a good time now.
Yeah.
And this is what this is all about, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And now he's gonna turn into a top deck war. Okay, a Mystical Space Typhoon, not the worst, absolutely.
Now next turn, a Sangan would be a top deck for game.
Ooh, that was huge ring,
the
but
ring.
the Typhoon is there. Wow.
Oh, this Typhoon was actually such a crazy
so
top deck.
strong. Yeah. Oh my. And Pot of Greed.
Pot into Grace.
He doesn't even need to use it. But what
Reveal
a
the Grace.
turnaround.
Come on, reveal the Grace. Show it to him. Yes, there it is.
Wow.
I did not see that one coming.
Absolutely not, and congratulations. But it is Seb who advances to the finals.
Yes, another chance to claim a title this weekend for Sebastian. In the last tournament, the Speed Tour tournament, he couldn't quite close it. His opponent was unfortunately way too good for him.
Yeah, way ahead of him, and maybe history will repeat once again for the third time this weekend when we will find out the winner of the other semi-final between you and Tom.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of I'm kind of afraid of Tom. I think he's a really good
You should
player.
be. He was really excited to be playing this weekend, and he has been playing this Time Wizard in particular for a long time, exploring a lot of crazy decks, and we have no idea what he brought.
I have no idea what he brought.
You do? You do? I mean, I do roughly as well, but I don't know if he changed his mind at the very last second. So definitely looking forward to this second match, but just as we mentioned, this was the first semi-final. Coming up is the match of Leo against Tom Paine. So thank you guys for being with us, and stay tuned to find out who will meet Seb in the finals.
Julio, Photon Hypernova, Chaos Monsters, Kashtira, Gold Pride, More cards for Fallen of Albaz and Dogmatica, plus many more, with brand new Photon and Galaxy cards to make your deck out of this world. 100 cards in all. Photon Hypernova. 9 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.
Hello and welcome back everyone to the coverage of YCS London 2023 for the 250th YCS. I'm here joined with Joseph Rothschild, aka
MBT.
All right, so you've brought all the way over from the North American continent itself the deck of your choice, I suppose, which is iconically
Hero.
Any particular reason you've decided to roll up with this?
Yeah, well, I figured that for an American coming to Europe, it would be best if I could showcase the best deck in the room. So, of course, after deciding not to play Kashtira or Labrynth or Sprite, I went with Hero, which is, you know, it's up there, I would say.
Okay, for actual, you know, shall we say, important meta-defining reasons, actually, what are you trying to do with it? What is your sort of main win condition? What are you trying to do? And, you know, tell us a little bit about your key cards, I suppose.
Sure, that was a bit of a meme. I think Hero is incredibly well positioned during this format. That's because of a couple of very critical cards. Destiny Hero Dark Angel does double duty as both a way to prevent spell cards from resolving and also a way to prevent evenly matched from ever making an appearance in the duel. What's more, the way that decks like Kashtira beat a card like that is with spell cards, which obviously won't be able to resolve. Additionally, the new card released in Maze of Memories, the world premiere set, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, solves almost every problem for the deck. It gives it a way to search Darklaw turn 1, search a way to get to Darklaw turn 1, I suppose, while playing around the deck's previous biggest weakness, Nibiru. I think that it is an exceptionally good deck that people are very unprepared for, and I'm excited to rep it today.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the key cards that you'll be activating. Turn 1.
So Obviously, the number one key card is my friend, Elemental Hero Stratos. This card's unbelievable, and now is a critical piece of the combo. It gives you the flexibility to go into incredibly powerful negators like Destiny Hero Plasma, or ways to turn off your opponent's power spells in Destiny Hero Dark Angel. The latter card, Destiny Hero Dark Angel, is a critical piece of your end board. Previously, you would end on a bunch of monsters you tribute for Plasma. Now you don't have that luxury. As a result, you're going to give your opponent this card, turning off not only their evenly matched in all their spells, but also giving them a body. This also plays very nicely with Rivalry of Warlords. While some individuals are playing cards like Link Karibo that can get this off the field, they can't if Rivalry's up, which is great for us. We are also playing, of course, the one, the only Fusion Destiny, which can start all of your combos not only by sending monsters to the graveyard to make Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, but also in some scenarios sending cards like Shadow Mist to the graveyard to make Destiny Hero Dangerous. It's a combo starter, it's a finisher, it plays through absolutely everything. And of course, the now searchable portion of the deck in Mask Change. Previously, you just hoped to draw into this to Darklaw your opponent and put them under a Macrocosmos style effect for the entire turn, but now, because of the new card released in Maze of Memories, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, you can always do it, guaranteed.
So other than the actual hero portion of the deck, you have to sort of supplement that with some going second cards, some going first cards. Tell us a little bit about how you've decided to approach this meta.
Sure. I'll talk real quick about the fusions first. Both Wake Up Your Elemental Hero and Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer are incredible going first or second. First, it's part of a disruption combo that you can use to stop your opponent from getting off to the races, but second, cards like Wake Up Your Elemental Hero aren't just warrior summoners, they're OTK enablers. That's because Wake Up Your Elemental Hero gets additional attacks based on the fusion monsters that you use for its fusion summon. If you're using a card like Miracle Fusion, you could get 4 or 5. Obviously, we're in a format where you have to have concrete plans going first and second. We are playing Rivalry of Warlords, of course, which is an incredibly powerful card going first, but going second, we've got some format staples like Droll and Lockbird. Funny stuff when you are able to rip an opponent's card out of their hand with Darklaw and then put them under Droll and Lockbird for the remainder of the turn. That's a literal lie. No, I'm just kidding, it's not. One of the format all-stars in Evenly Matched we have unique access to because we're never going to get Dark Angel locked. And of course...
Unless, of course, you're in a mirror match for some reason.
If you're in a mirror match, I'm going to polymerization that off. Wait, that doesn't resolve. The deck's too good. And finally...
It only loses to itself.
Exactly. And finally, when you have a card like Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer that can take over the game especially easily, cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance, which dead individual cards in your opponent's hand, are at a premium. I'm very confident in this list. I'm confident in my own play. I'm really excited to see if we can make it happen this weekend.
If there was a deck that you had to pick that you wish that you couldn't duel against this weekend, if you had to absolutely avoid it at all costs, who would it be?
Well, I hate to say this, but it's Labrynth. While specifically this deck has a lot of While this deck has a lot of game turn 3 by virtue of setting up a combo that instead of going for Dark Law goes for Masked Hero Acid to blow up the back row, there's a lot of ways that that deck can play around interaction like that. Things like Lord of the Heavenly Prison, the ability to rebuild so quickly with Lovely Lady, and most of their trap cards are devastating for the strategy. In testing, I found that the best case scenario is I give them a Dark Law, they open a hand with main deck evenly matched and Pot of Prosperity, but outside of that, it is a little difficult in terms of a matchup. I hope that they are too scared of the popularity of cards like evenly matched in main decks to actually show up with Labrynth, but of course it's a bit of a coin flip.
Well, thank you so much. That was extremely insightful for a absolutely amazingly fan-favorite deck, Heroes, and you are here as the emissary of Heroes this weekend to try to take it as far as you can possibly go. So thank you everyone for joining us for the coverage of YCS London 2023. This has been a Joseph Rothschild special deck profile. We'll be back in just a moment with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Action.
Welcome back to the live coverage of a 250th YCS here in London. And look who I got here. You may know his face. This is Vincenzo Orofino, our winner of YCS Dortmund, of course. And Vincenzo, how have you been doing so far in this tournament?
I think I did pretty well. It was really stressful because I started 1-1. But I clutched a 10-2 record, so I'm probably in the top cut. Really happy about it.
Nice, so that should be another top for you. Did you also top Lyon in between?
No, in Lyon I also started 1-1 and I also got to the bubble match, but I lost. So this time I got my revenge.
Oh. Let's hope you're in. It will be top 64, and of course this is the biggest European YCS we ever had, so we don't really know how tiebreakers will work out, but we're of course hoping that you will be in, as you are one of the most popular players we have at the moment here in Europe. And so I'm assuming you are not going to be on the deck anymore that was so popular in Lyon. And of course you don't have to tell me what deck you're exactly playing, but how confident are you in the deck that you brought for today?
I am really confident. I've been testing it for a while and I think I can do good depending on matchups and of course variants.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many different decks at the moment in the format, so it's really hard to figure out the deck, but it's good versus everything, right? That will be really tough, but I think you did very well now already with being 10-2. We may be seeing you later on in the feature match. Do you think you can go for the second YCS title in less than half a year?
I think I can.
That man is confident, so thank you very much, Vincenzo. We are doing a little guess the card with the other commentators over there in between, and I'm having another live interview just after. Okay, perfect.
Guess the card.
Hello, Guess the Card live. I get to come and sit over on the commentator table with you
How are you
guys.
doing, Ed?
Doing
Good
all
weekend?
right. Yeah, it's going all right. How about you, Nadir?
It's pretty good. What card do you think this is?
I couldn't tell you by this point. I'm going to have to wait for
I
it to
think
zoom
that's
out.
a leg, I reckon. That's
That's
like
a
a wooden
statue,
leg.
isn't it?
Oh, a statue?
Is it a Simorgh monster? I see a wing, maybe?
Is it a cape? I thought it's a cape.
It looks like kind of a wooden monster to me.
Do you think it's the Crystal Beast Tortoise?
No.
I mean, I would...
No?
Oh, goodness me.
I feel like I should
This is a
recognize
psychic.
this by
has
now.
to be a psychic.
Oh, that's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, one of the 5D Zero psychics. I don't know which one, but it...
Oh, I recognize this card. It's got 2,400 attack,
Is this
2,000 defense, level 7.
Magical Android?
You
No,
know
no, that's the
everything
synchro.
else
So
about
Life
it.
Transfer. Life Transfer.
Okay, you got it, you got it.
Yes.
Wow, okay, live transfer. So we're going to throw back to Basti. We're going to have some of these in between some interviews, but
One
Basti
card.
is going to be with Alex Robertson. Basti, over to you, my good sir.
Thank you very much, Ed. Here we are again, and this time I am joined, as Ed already said, with Alex Robertson. And Alex Robertson, of course, has a big smile on his face, because what's your record after Swiss?
11 wins, 1 loss.
That means you are absolutely secured in top 64, which must be a huge relief. Did you already have an X1 record before the round, or was it where you XO before that?
Yeah, so I lost the first round of day 2. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking. You go in 9-0, lose your first round, you think, oh, it might just be downhill from here. But it was okay. I was able to win round 10, and then round 11 I played against Jessica Robinson, who built the deck with me. And then unfortunately she bricks a couple of the games, so it was, yeah, it's unfortunate. But here we are, top cut ready.
Yeah, I think people are very well aware of the fact that there's that UK group gathering around that Rika deck, right? That is pretty crazy. And we had Jessica on stream early on. You said you were building the deck together. And I think she actually won the last round as well. She might as well be in as well. So that would be really cool. And you think Rika is still as strong as ever? Because it had no hits on the Forbidden and Limited list or whatsoever.
So I've been playing this Sun Avalon Rika deck. So Sun Avalon since last June for the UK National Championship, where I got second. And then between that event and now, I've been hand trapped correctly once. So I think based on that fact alone, it's still that like rogue pick. Like talking to some of the top players in the event, they still don't really know the correct places. So it's very hard to interact with if you don't know exactly where you got to pinpoint your interrupts. It just runs away with the game.
So we will give players another half a year or maybe a year to figure out how to win versus Rika. So I'm honestly a little bit afraid of Rika, and I think a lot of players in the room are. As you just said, a lot of people don't know how to interact with the deck, so that's really, really difficult. And I think it does one thing contrary to a lot of the other decks in the room right now. It is building a big board, because for example, the Kashtira deck that is so popular is just setting up sometimes a Rise Hard pass or something, but you are really going for a big combo deck, which is a combo board, which is really cool. And you played a couple of events lately, right? You have been traveling to YCSs, even over to the US, right? So how successful have your YCS journeys been lately?
So actually, basically since that UK Nationals, I've played every event I've played plants at in Europe off tops. Beside America, maybe not so good. The Shizu cards, they're a little bit heartbreaking for me. But besides that, it's been a really good run. I made top 16 at YCS Utrecht with the deck. It's a little bit different now. We've got some more spicier takes on it, as you may have seen from earlier. But yeah, I'm hoping to do well in this top cut.
Let's be honest, you just waited for your home country to have a YCS again, so you could be the champion of the 250th YCS here in London. So I wish you best of luck with that. We will definitely see you in Top Cut as you are on X1 right now. Thank you very much for the interview. As I said, best of luck, and I'm going to throw it back over to the rest of the team for one more card guesser.
Thank you very much, Basti and Alex. So we're back here, and we've got one more interview coming very, very shortly.
I'm lost.
Gateway of the Six.
Really?
Maybe.
It does look like some Japanese writing.
Double X Saber Golems.
How do you just come up with these ideas?
I feel like, I mean, come on, it's the armor, right? Look at it.
Is he the only monster with armor?
No, but it's the style of armor. Come on,
it does have two X's.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm willing to believe it's an X Saber. I'll, if you think it's Golems, I'll take that.
All right.
Okay. It has to be.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that was astoundingly quick.
I can feel my hand being discarded already.
Shoutouts to Billy Break if you're watching. Double X Saber.
There it is.
Beautiful, beautiful archetype.
That's a great armor.
One of the funniest monsters because it's a synchro that can be summoned with two tuners, and I have no idea why. But if you look at it, it just says
one tuner, one or more Earth
monsters.
That's actually, I never noticed that.
It's a really weird thing. I've seen people do it. I was just like, I don't know why it has this weird line of text.
All right, we'll do one more before we throw you on over to Sebastian.
That's a little gauntlet. The Bystials have gauntlets, but it doesn't look like a Bystial gauntlet.
It could be quite a lot of things by this point with that little... Is it a
Evil Swarm's Exoton Knight.
Okay, right.
How do you do this?
Look at his abs.
Okay, I've never looked at the abs of Exoton Knight before. You know, it's an insect. Does it have abs? I mean, it's clearly Exoton Knight now, but... he's got. I've noticed his sword before. He's got a great sword.
Did you notice it's the only Evil Swarm that's a light monster? They're all dark.
No.
God, you're getting a lot of trivia here. You're laughing and learning.
From Legacy of the Valiant, printed in 2014.
People are
I love this
playing
card.
it again.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like a Zeus.
It's like a Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the other Evil Swarm. It's Steel Swarm Rogue.
See, you were so focused on the abs that you couldn't get the name.
Let's go over back to Sebastian.
Yep. Basti, I hope you've got yourself another interview lined up for us, because we've got plenty more coverage coming your way. Basti, tell us what's going on over there.
Thank you very much, and I absolutely do have another interview right here. And joining me right now is Erikos back all the way from Greece. And Erikos, how are you so far doing in the tournament?
Really good. I just won a match that I was sure I was going to lose. So I'm very happy I made it, and it was really, really tense.
So what is your score after that round of Swiss?
I'm 10-2 now, 10 wins, 2 losses.
So you still have to hope a little bit because it's not 100% secured because we have the biggest European YCS ever, so we will see how numbers work out, but you definitely have a shot of topping this event. How many YCS tops do you have already now?
I think that's the 6th YCS.
That's pretty good, pretty impressive, so a lot of success. And what is your aim for this tournament? Because I know you were also pretty successful in Dortmund, right? You got all the way until top 4, if I remember correctly. So this time you have to top that, right?
I can only hope. I'll do my best, as always. We're playing a game that it's not always in your hand, what you're going to do. It's part of the cards, heart of the cards. But I'm definitely going to do my best, and I hope that I will go past the top 4 barrier.
I hope so as well. I mean, I'm only hoping with you for sure. So as you said, there's of course always some heart of the cards to be involved in the game. Sometimes you need that little bit of extra luck. And of course that is very important, especially in that long of a tournament, right? 12 rounds of Swiss. What would you say? Is that draining? Is that like because you're playing so much Yu-Gi-Oh! That weekend and then not that much of sleep and then instantly back into the action? This morning, how did you feel especially?
This morning I felt really good. Generally because I've played a lot of events, after a while you get used to it. So I think I have an advantage over the newer players because of the experience. So I've been feeling pretty good both yesterday and today.
That's good. So everybody at home, note down, play more YCS events so you will get used to the stress. And that's definitely something I would recommend to you as well. Erikos, I'm hoping with you that you are making the top cut. Thank you very much for that short little interview. And we will be back soon with more live